he's gonna pawn that. So that's gonna, no, he didn't. I must have missed that. Okay. $18 damage from the execute, not bad from the minister. Man, that Battlemaster 3 is just nasty. Nice big range, 4 spaces. Everybody within that range gains 2 damage in the defense. Ewan stepping up to the plate, and we'll see if he's got a couple of options here. Probably just go ahead and Radiant Blow him. Mortal Crew coming up. Punch. 21 damage. And I mean, you launch that from 8 spaces. I mean, that's like a. I mean, that's like a friggin' mile away. Dude. I mean, you just can't. You got to get on that. I mean, that is ridiculous. So, you know, the Reaver's left with nothing but a couple of Nora globes around him. Not gonna offer up much protection against all that crap. And starting to look a little bleak for Croc. He's going to have to get something off the board. I mean, he just can't. Because this stuff's going to heal up, and that's what the problem is. If Iron Fist can come in and keep their pieces on the board and get their Nor's worth out of them, I mean, it is very, very difficult to beat that faction. He's almost got the Minister, got him down to a single point. Could maybe... I don't even know if he can get in range of a drive, maybe. So, I don't know, that Minister might escape death here for at least a second or so. Trying to figure out, I'm sure, count the spaces. See how close he can get that messenger up here. The Reaver, 39 hit points. He's already taking a little bit of a beating. And we got Max on the board. So an interesting placement here. Immobile Champ. He's the hero, third hero of UD. He does drive him to finish off the Minister. Great move. But the third hero for UD, I mean, just unbelievable base damage. 30. You give him a good speed and decent, well, I don't know, 1 to 3 range is pretty decent. 2 defense, 60 hit points, plus the pawn ability, well, just like Demonologist. But the problem is, I mean, regeneration, Iron Will, I mean, he's got a ton of abilities, but the biggest one stoking him is he's stationary. He can't move. And so that means he's got to be teleported around the board. I mean, he can flop to Portal, which just goes to like your closest font zone or even to your shrine zone. He can teleport back to those, but other than that, I mean, the champion is just immobile. He's not going anywhere. And the ability that makes him rock is that when he can put out for free a champion of 65 or less from your room dog. Okay? Great ability. The problem is that it has a 20 turn cooldown. Okay, so in order to get the cooldown down is when an opposing champion is destroyed, this champion's cooldown is reduced by 10. So every 2 champs you kill, you've got a free champion in play. So what you're hoping is that there'll be some death around Max, and he can start throwing out some free meat for you. And there's some pretty decent 65 Nora champions in there for UD, but even if you don't have one, that's cool. I mean, he'll throw an imp out for you. So, you know, in a level 3 imp at that, which is, you know, better than nothing, I guess. But, I mean, you got stuff like Hook Fiends and Deep Elf Priestesses and Shadow Masters, Block Enforcers. There's all kinds of decent pieces. So now what we just got was a Fading Recollection on the aspect of divinity, so that's going to just make that champ useless. I mean, he's absolutely, he has no point anymore other than being a font contester. Fading Recollection wiping out all of his abilities and being a passive champ. He can't even attack anymore. And he loses his, you know, physical immunity and all that other stuff. But now the great news for Dresnar is that Croc's going to attack him, so that's going to eat up AP on that cat. But that's going to leave Dwarf King and Ewan to come in and finish up that Reaver. Not going to take much to put him down at just 39 hit points. But I guess Croc's trying to rack up some kills so that he can get max going on. If he can get some free meat out there, that might really this game. The secondary ability, Artillery Strike, goes through Arrow Eater, so even though the massive Reaver can't be hit with standard range attacks, the Artillery Strike is throwing down 18 fire damage of anything that was in the range of his little 2x2 box there. So he just happened to target it in here, and the Reaver managed to stay in play until the end of that turn, and bada bing, pile of damage. Ewan going to go for the Imp, keep him out of his font. 16 damage is enough to put him down. So Ewan finishes that off and keeps his font protected. Dwarf King sitting back, 14 damage, 7 speed. And that'll open a hole right straight for the Reaver if that's what he wants to do. Of course, with not having the support really. See, he's just used Artillery Strike. He had 6 AP, so if you'll notice, he had 6 AP. And then he used 4 for the Artillery Strike, so he probably made a 2x2 square somewhere around this area, figuring that the Reaver's going to move. So see, there's his range. So if he placed it here, it'd be 2 squares this way, 2 squares this way, and 2 squares this way. So it's a fairly decent range that if that Reaver stays anywhere within this area, he's going to catch an Artillery Strike with 18 more damage, and that Reaver just can't absorb that kind of damage right now. He's got to get him out of there. He's got to figure that that range is going to be right in here somewhere, so he needs to move him on up or something, or move him back one. I mean, if he stays there where he's at now, he's going to catch 18 more damage. So we'll see what he decides to do here. He's blinked the aspect of divinity out of play. He blinks his own champ. Now what that's going to do, send him to the oblivion there. He's floating out here in space somewhere. And yeah, as long as this space stays unoccupied by the end of the turn, he's going to pop back down and be redeployed as if he were deployed from the room dock. So that means aspect of divinity is going to come back into play. He's going to heal everything, and he'll have all of his abilities back. The Reaver goes to work on the Sergeant, and he's going to, oh dude, come on. Man, Messenger's probably going to take a blast from that Artillery Strike as well. Apparently he just maybe forgot about it, but Reaver's definitely not going to get out of the way. He's going to be stuck in that 4 area space, I guarantee you. So and now the Messenger is completely out of AP after driving the Sergeant, which that'll finish him up. But the problem is you've got nearly a full life Dwarf King who's going to lay some loving down on that Reaver, and then your aspect's going to come back. See, there he is, full abilities, full heal, and he caught the 18 damage, and that'll do it. So thanks for watching, guys. Dresnar versus Croc. Looks like Dresnar took this one. We'll catch you next video.